Somewhere in the Pacific right now, a submarine the length of 2 football fields is sitting a few hundred feet underwater, and nobody on the surface knows exactly where. It's carrying more destructive power than every bomb dropped in World War II combined. Its crew won't see sunlight for months, and most Americans have no idea it exists. This is the story of the most powerful submarines the U.S. Navy has ever built, and why the deadliest weapons in the American arsenal aren't fighter jets or aircraft carriers. They're boats that spend their entire careers trying to be invisible. Start with the Ohio class. 14 of these submarines form the backbone of America's nuclear deterrent, and each one carries Trident II ballistic missiles capable of hitting targets thousands of miles away. A single Ohio-class boat carries more firepower than the combined arsenals of most nations on Earth. The Navy's entire strategy with these submarines is built around one idea. As long as an enemy can never be sure where they are, an enemy can never risk a first strike. That uncertainty is the whole point. The submarine doesn't need to fire a single missile to do its job. It just needs to exist, somewhere, unknown. Each Trident II missile can be loaded with multiple independent warheads, meaning a single missile isn't aimed at one target. It can strike several targets at once, hundreds of miles apart, from a single launch. Multiply that across the number of missile tubes on one submarine, and you start to understand why defense analysts call the Ohio class the most survivable leg of America's nuclear triad. Bombers can be shot down, land-based missiles sit in fixed locations that an enemy can map and target years in advance. A submerged Ohio-class boat is a moving target in 3 dimensions, in an ocean that covers most of the planet. Finding it on purpose is closer to luck than strategy. But the Ohio class isn't just built for deterrence. 4 of the original 18 boats were converted into something different entirely. Instead of nuclear missiles, these 4 carry up to 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles apiece, along with the ability to secretly deploy Navy SEAL teams. A converted Ohio-class submarine can surface a special operations team on a hostile coastline and then vanish before anyone realizes it was ever there. The Navy is now retiring these converted boats, and replacing that capability is proving harder than expected. There's a gap forming in what these submarines used to do, and nothing built yet fully closes it. Then there's the Seawolf class, and this is where the story gets strange. The Seawolf was designed at the height of the Cold War to hunt the most advanced Soviet submarines in the deepest, harshest parts of the ocean. It's fast. Reports put its top speed at roughly 25 knots, which makes it the fastest attack submarine ever built for the U.S. Navy. It's also armed with 8 torpedo tubes and can carry up to 50 weapons at once, more than almost any other American attack submarine. The Navy originally planned to build 29 of these. They built 3. The Cold War ended. The threat that justified the Seawolf's existence largely disappeared, and each submarine cost roughly $3 billion to produce. That price tag killed the program. But one of those 3 boats deserves special attention. The USS Jimmy Carter isn't just a Seawolf-class submarine. It's a modified version with a 100-foot extension built into its hull, a section the Navy calls the multi-mission platform. What actually happens inside that section is classified. What's known publicly is that the Jimmy Carter is used for some of the most sensitive undersea missions in the entire military, reportedly including the ability to tap undersea communication cables. It's a submarine built inside a submarine, and it may be the single most unusual vessel in the American fleet. Which brings us to the boat that's supposed to replace almost everything that came before it. The Virginia class. On paper, the Virginia class shouldn't be as impressive as the Seawolf. It was designed to be cheaper. It was designed to be built faster, using prefabricated sections instead of the painstaking Cold War construction process. It was, in a lot of ways, the budget option. And somehow it became the most advanced attack submarine on the planet anyway. Early Virginia-class boats carried 12 Tomahawk missiles alongside 4 torpedo tubes. That alone would make them formidable. But starting with the Block V version, the Navy added something called the Virginia Payload Module. 4 extra tubes that add 28 more missile slots to each submarine. That upgrade wasn't random. It exists specifically to make up for the striking power the Navy is losing as those converted Ohio-class boats retire. In effect, the Navy is trying to rebuild a capability across an entire fleet of smaller submarines that used to live inside just 4 much larger ones. The Virginia class also introduced a pump jet propulsion system instead of a traditional propeller, which makes it dramatically quieter underwater. Older submarines relied on periscopes, a design that hasn't fundamentally changed in 100 years. Virginia-class boats use photonic masts instead, digital cameras on retractable poles that feed high-resolution video straight to a control room screen, giving the crew a complete view of the surface without ever exposing a traditional periscope. Combined with sonar systems built to track multiple contacts at once, the result is a submarine that can operate in shallow coastal waters almost as comfortably as it operates in the deep ocean, a flexibility the older Seawolf class was never designed for. That's why the Navy now wants 2 or 3 of these built every single year through 2043. The goal is a fleet of 48 Virginia-class submarines. As of the most recent count, the Navy has around 40 under contract. Getting there depends entirely on Congress actually funding it. So which one is the most powerful? That depends on what you mean by powerful. If it's raw destructive capability, the Ohio class wins by a mile, because nothing else in the American arsenal carries that kind of strategic weight. If it's speed and stealth built for direct combat, the Seawolf still holds records nobody has broken. If it's adaptability, the kind of submarine that can be reconfigured for whatever mission the next decade throws at it, that's the Virginia class, and it's not particularly close. Here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. The U.S. Navy has never lost a submarine in combat with another modern navy. Not once. Every one of these classes was designed around a single principle: an enemy can't sink what it can't find. The most powerful weapon on any of these boats isn't the missile in the tube. It's the fact that nobody knows it's there until it's already too late to matter. So next time you look at the ocean, remember that somewhere beneath it, one of these submarines might be sitting less than a mile from a coastline, holding enough power to change the outcome of a war, and completely, deliberately invisible. Which one of these would you actually want to serve on? The one built to disappear for months at a time, or the one built to outrun anything trying to catch it?